Welcome to Webinar Tuesday. Today's session is creating an online presence for your business during COVID-19. My name is Mary Jo Williams, and I am the Network Training Coordinator for the Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, and I will be your moderator for today's session. We thank you for being here. We hope you have signed up for all of our webinars, and you can do that on our webpage at www.visbdc.org. Today's session is on Facebook Live and is also being recorded on Zoom, and it will be posted on our YouTube channel. For today's webinar, we ask that you put your questions in the chat, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. A copy of the presentation will be put in the chat towards the end of the session, and you may download it for your review. There will be several poll questions during the presentation, and we request that you respond. If the connection for the webinar is lost for any reason, please use the original link that you were provided to rejoin the webinar. For today's webinar, Creating an Online Presence for Your Business During COVID-19, the presenter is Ms. Raven Forrester. Raven Forrester is the owner of Studio STX LLC and Purse Chick STX. Before moving to St. Croix in 2019, Raven worked as a runway model, a brand ambassador for 9 years, representing various brands such as Samsung, Verizon, and Coca-Cola. She has experience creating marketing content for local and stateside small businesses, as well as making short commercials for her own 2 businesses. Okay, Ms. Forrester, you may proceed with your presentation.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We'll start with a poll question.
Oops.
Where are you located?
Oh, hold on a second here. Okay, I'm having a technical challenge, sorry. Okay. Well, if you can type in the chat where you're located, we'd appreciate that. Give you a couple of seconds. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. We have people on St. Thomas. We have people on St. John. And, well, that's the only 2 places that have indicated where they're located. St. Thomas and St. John. Okay, wonderful. All righty. So go ahead, Ms. Forrester.
All right, everyone, just a quick overview of what we'll be discussing today. We'll talk about getting your business listed on Google, Tripadvisor, and Yelp, and then we'll talk about social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram. We'll talk about creating content, and then we will close with marketing via social media. If you do not currently have a website for your business, you can still create an online presence by using social media pages and business directories. With the COVID-19 pandemic, having an online presence is especially important to update current customers, attract new customers, and transition into an online business. So everything that we are discussing today, you could utilize even if you do not have a website for your business. We have another poll question here. Are you currently in business?
And if you will kindly put in the chat whether or not you're in business, we'd appreciate it. You could put A for yes or B for no, or you can type out the words. Okay, we'll give you a few more seconds. All righty. Okay, it looks like about a third of the participants are currently not in business, and so that means roughly 2/3 are in business. And I apologize because I don't have the poll questions working. I can't give you the exact percentages, but go ahead, Miss Forrester.
The next question is your business, if you are in business, listed on Google currently?
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Go ahead and continue, Miss Forrester.
All right, we're
Some
gonna,
are and some are not listed in Google.
okay, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about Google first. Everyone knows Google. When you're looking for something, they use the phrase, just Google it. So of course you will want your business to be found on Google. It's used for customer reviews. It's used for driving directions, finding out business information like the address or the phone number or the hours. And it's also used to find updates on a business to find out if it's open tomorrow or if it's closing early today. Now there's two ways that you can get your business listed on Google. If you have the Google Maps app, anyone can list your business. So it doesn't have to be you as a business owner. It could be a customer or a total stranger. All someone has to do is open up the Google Maps app, click contribute at the bottom, and click add a place. And there they will enter the name, category, the location, all the information that they may have. Now, if someone did this already for your business, you are able to claim it. Now, if you as a business owner want to have control of your Google listing, you should download the Google My Business app, where you can follow step-by-step instructions to get your business listed or claim a listing that already exists. You'll just have to verify some information to prove that you are the actual business owner, and then you'll be all set. With the Google My Business app, you will now have access to respond to customer reviews, add photos of your business or products, post announcements, update your business information, update your hours, and see the insights of who have seen your business listing. And there's also an optional feature. If you don't already have a website, you can get a free website through Google My Business. The only difference would be that it will be your business name .business.site instead of businessname.com. Here's an example of some Google My Business insights. On the left, you can see how many people viewed your listing through search or through maps within a month's time. And on the right, you have the option to select to specifically see who viewed your website through Google, who called you, who requested directions, and who viewed your photos on your Google listing. Now, as a business owner myself, I have to warn everyone else that there is a scam related to Google. About 2 weeks after I listed my business on Google, I received a call saying that I must pay $100 over the phone for my listing to be live. And I knew that was a lie because Google, first of all, will not call you about your listing. They will email you if needed. And it is completely free to list your business. Next, we're going to talk about getting listed on Tripadvisor. It's very popular for travel-related businesses. All you would need to do is go to tripadvisor.com/get-listed-new. Now, this is only for business categories of hotels, restaurants, attractions, and vacation rentals. And just a little tip when you're filling out the information, the Virgin Islands is considered a country. So make sure it says USVI instead of United States. Next, we'll quickly talk about Yelp. It's most popular with restaurants, but different businesses can be listed on Yelp. You would go to biz.yelp.com or download the Yelp Biz app if you prefer to do it from your phone. Very simple step-by-step instructions. And from there, once you're registered, you'll be able to update your business information. You can create ads, which of course will cost a fee, it's not free. And from there, you could receive customer reviews, response reviews, and get insights just as you would with Google. So you can see who went to your website through Yelp, who called you through Yelp, how many people saw your listing. And to get registered on all of the previous directories is completely free. Yelp does have some paid features if you choose to use those features. Now we are ready to go into the social media part. Facebook, especially in the Virgin Islands, is very, very popular. And Facebook has way too many perks for businesses to list them all in this webinar. So here's just some of the top ones. You can set your own budgets for your ads, which we'll talk about later. You can set up free Facebook shops to display your items for sale. Your customers can privately message your business. You can set up frequently asked questions and automated messages. And of course, you could post updates and photos. And like I said before, Facebook has so many perks for your business. There's a section, if you have your page set up already, that says resources and tools. I highly suggest that you go through there and check out some of the tutorials on how to use some of the business tools that Facebook provides. If you have not created your Facebook page yet, it's very easy to do. You will go to your menu, or you'll click the flag if it's already there. Select pages and then hit the create button. Just follow the step-by-step instructions to add your business information. And in case you're not ready to publish your page yet to be public, you can keep it hidden until you are fully set up and ready for the public to see it. Next is Instagram, which is only used to post photos and videos. You can post and link your ads with Facebook, so you just post on one app and it will go to the other. And you can also create a hashtag for your business, or use hashtags like USVI to connect with others that view that hashtag. Now we'll briefly talk about Twitter. It's not as popular here in the Virgin Islands, but it is great for customers that want to communicate with customers and provide quick customer service. I use Amazon as an example here because their social media team will search for the word Amazon to find tweets that are not exactly directed to Amazon, but they will respond within 5 minutes. And you could do the same for your business. You don't actually have to respond only to tweets directed at you. You could search for your business name and see who is speaking about your business on Twitter. And you can also target new customers to find out if they may be interested in a product that you offer. Now that you have all your social media pages created, what are you going to post on there? So we're going to quickly talk about various marketing content. This includes photos of your products or just your business location, videos, which could be 3-second videos or minute-long commercials, and Facebook and Instagram stories that will disappear after 24 hours. So that's great if you're a restaurant and want to just post your special for the day and don't have to worry about deleting it the next day. I highly recommend taking as many photos as you can within 1 day if possible. So that way you have a month's worth of photos ready to post. And if you are concerned about anyone stealing or reusing your photos, definitely add a watermark or a logo to your photos. Now, when you have that month's worth of photos, if you think that you may not remember to post it when you plan to, you can always schedule them to post on Facebook. With this, you would need the Facebook Business Suite app or go to business.facebook.com. You would post as if you're ready to post right now, but at the top, it has an option for you to select a date and a time. If you change your mind, you can always edit it or cancel it. And now the fun part, marketing via social media. Once your pages are set up, you can create paid ads. All you need to do is make sure you have a payment option connected to your accounts. And if you set up the ad from Facebook, there will be a checkbox for you to also show the same ad on Instagram within the same budget. To set up your first ad, you would go to your page, click Ads or Ad Center if you're working on a computer, and then click Create. The first step will be to choose your goal. What would you like to gain from this advertisement? Do you want to get more phone calls? Do you want to get more people to like your page? Or do you want people to go to your website? So that will be the first thing that you select. Next, you would choose your visual. You would select your photos or your videos, and then type in a little message at the top that you would like the potential customers to see. Next, you would set your audience. Now, this is something you could do only one time, or more than once if you would like, but if you use the same audience for all of your ads, you only have to do this once and then name it. So when you do your next ad, you would just select the pre-named audience. Now, for this example, for my businesses, I specifically market to St. Croix, but if you wanted to market to people in Miami, Dallas, and Los Angeles, you would type in those 3 cities instead of putting it in a map. If you would like to market to people who have specific interests, you will type it in next. Then you select the age range of who you would like to market to. And if you would like to market specifically to men or women, you will select that. At the bottom of that example, it shows that your audience selection is great, or it will tell you if it is too specific. And it will also give you an estimate of how many people may see your ad. Next, it's time to set your budget. As I said before, you get to select your own budget for your ads on Facebook and Instagram. So first you would decide how much you would like to spend in one day, and then how many days. And at the bottom there, it would tell you a total of what you would spend for your ad. After this, you would submit it to Facebook for approval, and you would get a notification if it is approved or if you need to make changes for any reason. If you change your mind on the budget, you could always add dollars afterwards, or you can pause the ad if you don't want it to run anymore. Once the ad is complete, you will be able to see the results in the insights. So in the first example here, you can see my ad had reached 1,800 people, and it had 75 people actually interact with the ad. So that is the engagement there. If you were actually looking at my phone and you click the 75, it will show you the breakdown of how many people liked the ad, how many people clicked the link, and everything else. Now on the next example, which was for a video that I made, you can see that it had 4,000 organic views and 3,000 paid views. And that is because I had 36 shares. So it was seen by more people outside of the paid advertisement than it was seen within the paid advertisement. Now, before I move on to the next slide, notice at the bottom of the first example that it's showing me the breakdown of how many men and women saw my ad, saw and interacted with my ad. So within the insights, you will also be able to see the breakdown by gender, age, and placement, whether Facebook or Instagram, and location if you selected multiple cities. So here's another example here of the demographics that's shown in your insights, the breakdown of age. And with these insights, you can determine if you need to adjust your audience for future ads. If you wanted to show to more women, if you wanted to show to more older people than teenagers, you could just leave them out of your audience for your next ad. And that is the end of the presentation already. So I hope you learned something. We'll do questions in a moment, but I hope you know that it's very easy to get your business online. I only listed a few of the major ones, but there's also Yahoo, there's Apple Maps, there's quite a few local directories that you can get listed on. I hope you learned that it is easy and cheap if you choose to advertise on social media at your own budget. You can advertise for $1 or $100, whichever you like. And I hope that you continue to create content and build your online business presence. If anyone has any questions directly for me or needs assistance, they can contact me through the Small Business Development Center. My name is Raven Forrester, and I'll be happy to assist you with your social media and creating content. And I'll pass it back over to Mary Jo for a few more poll questions.
Okay, wonderful. Next poll question is, how did you hear about this webinar? And the poll question is showing on your screen for those of you that have joined us using Zoom. So if you'll answer the poll question, I'll give you like 10 more seconds because we're going to get to the questions that you guys put in the chat. Uh-oh. I apologize. It looks like I put all of the poll questions in the computer at the same time. So if you'll give me a thumbs up when you've finished all of the poll questions, there's 7 of them. Then I'll be able to read out our response. And while folks are answering those poll questions, Ms. Forrester, let me give you one of their questions. And it says, most USVI residents and businesses only have a P.O. box. I operate out of a home office, and this is my case. Will Google accept my P.O. box?
I do believe that Google, they stated themselves that you do not need to have a physical address to be listed on Google. So I don't believe you have to put your P.O. box at all. They say on their website that you do not need a physical address to be listed.
Okay, great. Next question. All right. Do you have to verify? Wait a minute.
Mary Jo, this is Shelley Williams.
Yes.
That was my question.
Okay.
And it ties into the P.O. box because I wanted to ask, is there a way around that? Because I had to verify my business. And as the previous person said, I have a home-based business. And for the verification process, they wanted to mail it to the actual business location. So I had a P.O. box, but it was difficult because they don't like to mail those verifications to a P.O. box.
Okay.
So I was wondering, is there a way around this verification process that you have to go through? Because they actually send you a code in order to verify after your business is created.
Okay.
That is correct. I did receive that postcard as well when I verified my business, but they are supposed to, I don't know if they actually do it, but their website does list that they will verify via phone by sending you a text instead of doing the postcard, which I'm guessing that is for maybe strictly only for businesses that do not list an address.
Okay, great. All right, now I'm going to end the polling in 8 seconds. So if you haven't had a chance to answer the poll questions, please go ahead. Let's see, do we have any more questions?
Hi, do they have a contact number that you can share for Google for assistance?
For Google, I don't believe they actually have a phone number. Anytime that I have to reach Google, it's via email or somewhere on their website where it has contact us for the correct department that you're trying to reach. But I don't believe they actually have a phone number for you to call.
And then, do they have a feature? I've had individual post reviews on my business that actually didn't use my service. Is there a way for you to delete those reviews?
I don't believe you could delete them, but you should be able to respond to them. So if it's for a different business that they accidentally used your business in the review, I believe you're able to respond and state that, you know, that's not your actual business. But I don't think you could delete reviews on Google.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I have a question. I'm not, well, anyway, question. What are the best strategies for planning an event such as a webinar? Does that come under the purview of this webinar, Ms. Forrester?
If you plan on doing a webinar, let's say like on Facebook Live, that's the only way I could really answer if you're specifically talking about like a live platform like Facebook or YouTube or Instagram Live. For planning it, I would just say you have to, you know, make sure you have your information organized and advertise ahead of time so you make sure people are viewing your webinar, which you could do that by advertising your event the same way how I was explaining to advertise with a picture or a video. On Facebook, you can advertise an event as well. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but I can always touch back on that after the webinar if you need something more specific.
Okay, I got a little bit distracted, so I'm ending the poll now. Another question. In your opinion, what are the top social media platforms that are most effective within the VI market, the US VI market?
For USVI specifically, Facebook. I find that compared to stateside, Facebook is the most popular social media here. Instagram is a little bit more popular with, I guess, the younger crowd, like teenagers and like 20-year-olds, which, I mean, this is just my opinion, not fact. Twitter, I find is less popular here. I mean, people still use it, but business-wise, it's not a necessity to have Twitter for your business. And also, which I haven't learned too much about TikTok, but I know it's like the big craze with teenagers. I've had kids come to my studio and they're shooting TikToks and doing dances and all that. So if you could find a way to use TikTok for your business, especially if you're catering to teenagers, I think you would do very well.
Excellent, thank you. Next question. Are there any restrictions for government agencies to advertise on social media for upcoming events?
I don't believe so. I know Facebook, when you're creating an ad, if it has to do with like housing or employment, I believe, there's a little checkbox that you have to select. I don't believe there's any restrictions when it comes to social media. That might be more depending on the department. I don't know if the specific departments may have restrictions, but when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, there's no restrictions on government advertising.
I have a question. Do you know of a way to increase your rating or increase your view on Google?
To increase your ratings, like
So
as in reviews.
I'm sorry. So we're on Google, and so but we're way at the bottom. So I was wondering, is there a way for you to increase, you know, your when people are doing search to increase your, I guess, your ranking?
Yeah, search engine optimization is what you're talking about.
Okay,
But
when
I
you
mean on the Google map, on Google itself, I know there's tactics, but on the map, on the Google map, I should specify.
Okay.
map, okay. There are ways getting listed on other directories, like how I said Tripadvisor and Yelp. Let's say someone Googles your business name specifically. Of course, the first thing that's going to come up is your Google listing. And as they scroll more, it should list your website if you have one, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your Yelp page, anywhere else that your business is listed will be under your listing. Now, let's say, I don't know what kind of business you own, but just as an example, if you own a restaurant and someone searches for cheeseburger, it's going to show everywhere in the area that serves cheeseburger. Now, I think what you mean is that you want to be at the top of that list. The
Correct.
best way I could suggest to do that is if you, let's say you take like pictures of every cheeseburger you have on the menu and you post it, and when you post it in the caption, you mention your restaurant name and the word cheeseburger. So that way it'll get more search hits. Anytime you post a picture on, let's say, your Google listing of a cheeseburger, make sure to type out the word cheeseburger and your business name in the caption. So that way it just has more hits when someone searches for the word cheeseburger in the area. Does that make sense to you?
It does, and that's great information. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome. Thank you for that question. That was a very good question.
I'm really good at speaking with the mic turned off. I'm in the process of putting the presentation in the chat. Okay, so while I'm working on that, I'll go through our poll results. For the people, how did you hear about this webinar? 30% heard about it through social media, 70% through email. Do you plan to attend other webinars in this series? The answer was 100% yes. Would you recommend this webinar for other people to attend? The answer is 100% yes. Did you attend previous webinars in this series? Well, we haven't quite had previous webinars in this particular series, but 30% said yes and 70% said no. Are you currently in business? 70% of our attendees that answered are in business, and 30% are not in business. Are you currently, I think I put that in twice, sorry. Okay, where are you located? Aha, we got 10% in St. Croix, 10% in St. John, and 80% in St. Thomas. And that ends my poll for today. Oh, I think I didn't put the Google question in there. All right, anyway, okay, so the presentation. Okay, you guys have any more questions for Ms. Forrester?
This is Greg.
Greg, welcome.
Thank you. Can you all hear me? And I just want to make a comment. I do not intend to steal any thunder. I thought I might give the group an interesting insight from an SBDC counselor. Think back in 2020. Think about us right here in the Virgin Islands, a couple government mandated shutdowns, a state of health emergency, businesses is going down quicker than we care. We've all had to make adjustments. Now, here's an interesting overlay to put on top of that. Do you realize that during that pandemic, in more than a few places, particularly in the US, that spending, consumer spending, was at its highest point in history? I come from South Carolina, the Charleston area. So I looked at some extensive reports, and Charleston happens to be a place where in 2020, the consumers spent more money than they have ever spent any year in existence. Now think about that during a pandemic. I heard that. And then I looked over our client list at the SBDC. And I looked at how many of the clients did not have an online presence. And by the way, if restaurants are down between 30 and 80% and people are spending more money than they ever have in history, they're doing it online. Please don't underestimate the importance of not just a presence online, but a multi-channel digital strategy. We have to compete. COVID's not over yet. I just want to put that in there because You know, we've got a real opportunity in front of us. You know, we've embarked on the first stages of at least getting an online presence. I don't want to begin to tell you how many businesses in the territory don't have an online presence. It's such an opportunity. Let's get after it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I thank you for your time. I didn't mean to take all that much, but I am a counselor and I really see an opportunity here to get some of these startups and get it in the planning phase and build a good, successful strategy to go out there and deal with this COVID pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. I have a question from Ms. Chanel Peterson.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. Good morning to all. Thank you for hosting this webinar, SBDC. Always a pleasure to listen in on the experts as well as the audience and everybody else who has valuable information to share. I heard a question about whether there was a contact for Google, and I just wanted to put an alert out there because one thing that's very common in scamming is people calling saying, "Hi, I'm with your Google account."
Mhm.
And be very mindful because it's a very popular scam, and they'll throw out Google a lot to make you think that it's legitimate until they start to ask you for money. And as mentioned, these services through Google, through Yelp are free unless you're starting to get into, of course, ads. So when it comes to just posting and getting information, whether it's Yelp or Google, please be mindful that you should not be paying for these services unless, again, you know, it's an ad that you're putting out there. So just putting that there for folks that are, you know, getting some of these calls. As you start to place your business online, you'll start to see a lot of telemarketers and other scammers coming after because your contact information is on there. But this is a good thing because that also means customers can reach you. So I say that to say, don't shy away from putting contact information just because you're going to get some bad apples. Please, you know, as said, utilize online and digital marketing as much as you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. For those of you that are still online, we do have a series coming up starting next week. And it's in our series that's called Webinar Wednesdays. And it's Disaster Recovery and Resiliency series during COVID-19. So it's 8 weeks of webinars start, and they're 2 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon, starting next week, Wednesday, February the 3rd. So we look forward to seeing you guys, and they'll run through the first week of April. We have a 2-week break in there, but they're 2 sets of 4. So please tune in for that, and it'll cover some more information about marketing online during COVID. It'll add some depth, some additional depth to the information that Ms. Forrester shared with us this morning. Now, we have any more questions for Ms. Forrester? Okay, wonderful. All right. So thank you all for coming. Did everybody receive the file of the presentation? Ms. Peterson, you have another comment?
Yes, thank you, Mary Jo. I really, once again, it's always great to participate in these webinars, and as part of the Economic Development Authority's initiative as well to support small businesses and to provide additional resources. We are relaunching our Wednesday webinars as well tomorrow. And that's going to be on the PPP relaunch and forgiveness, as well as the application through EDB. And so at 10 a.m. tomorrow is our first webinar for the year. And then because, between SPDC and EDA, we're getting a lot of this information. We want to provide a lot of resources out there. Starting February 9th on Tuesdays, a 6-week course at 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We'll be offering e-marketing training. So this will be a 6-week course every other Tuesday, offering e-marketing training to businesses in the territory, and we'll have some fun case studies on local businesses. And so we hope that you can join us there. And these, of course, are all free. And you can actually find both SPDC's events and EDA's event on our new space, startup space, the USVI Business Hub. So thank you, Mary Jo. Appreciate the time.
Wonderful. Okay, so to push or to support online marketing, creating an online presence, the SBDC does have an online presence. We have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube page, we have a Twitter account. And if we have any additional accounts, Ms. Industrious, if you could comment on those. But we are trying to set the example by having that online presence. Our website is www.visbdc.org. Our Facebook page is at visbdc.org. Our YouTube page is at visbdc.org. So if you can maintain some of that consistency in terms of how they find you, that will be very, very helpful. Startup space. All right, it's the USVI hub, Startup Space Hub. And that will allow people to basically conduct business from startup right from one website. You can access licensing, Lieutenant Governor, SBDC, EDA, all from one spot. Whoops. I think I might have made a mistake and only sent the file to one person. I'm so sorry. Let me send it to everyone in the meeting. That would be helpful. Any more questions? The file is coming to everybody now. Ms. Peterson has put in the link to the startup space page in the chat also. And the SBDC will be launching our new website shortly, so stay tuned. Our web address again is www.visbdc.org. And I think you guys will be happy with our new website page. Okay, if we have no more questions, all of our trainings are listed on our Facebook page and on our website. So definitely check us out. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. On Tuesday, we have webinar Tuesdays with the SBA. So they'll probably give some updates, some additional updates on the COVID-19 response, updates from whatever shared tomorrow, and additional information next week. So look out for SBDC. We have webinar Tuesdays, we have working Wednesdays, we're going to have some lunch and learn Thursdays. So we will have a plethora of webinars for you guys to participate in, and the information, as they say, can't done. So with that, we want to thank you all for showing up today, and I will send the file via email to everyone that was not able to download it from the chat. so that you can have a copy of the presentation from today's webinar. So Ms. Forrester, on behalf of the SBDC and our state director, Mr. Ted Gutierrez, we want to thank you for your presentation, and we want to thank the audience for attending. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Sure.